live long and prosper.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Shut up and take my money.
By Grabthar's hammer, what a saving.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Winter is coming.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Stay a while and listen.
Hey, old Kermit the Frog here.
Your ties are cool.
So say we all.
This is a Play on Nerds. Welcome to episode 242 of A Play on Nerds. I'm Jarman.
And I am Steve, and boy, do we have a doozy for you. What are we talking about?
This was once a popular book, then becoming now a very well-reviewed so far movie, Project Hail Mary, out in theaters soon. And in honor of that, we're going to talk about another movie involving a man alone in space with lots of charisma, a kind heart, scrapping his way through making it in space. Moon from 2009.
Moon, Sam Rockwell.
That's right.
If you haven't watched it, you need to. We'll throw a spoilers tag when we start talking about it, because it is definitely worth it, folks.
Yes, definitely. And kind of off the beaten track, as Steve and I talked about after last show, off the recording, that we usually watch just utter dreck for the show. So this is actually a good movie.
This is one of the few times we're not lying to you. This is genuinely a good movie you should watch.
Exactly. This was enjoyable for us to watch again. So there you go.
Well, more of that later as we explore the deep depths of space. But this week, what's happening right here at home?
Oh, well, this past week before we've recorded, I had my first big outing with the baby. Which was kind of freaky for us because we got all his shots, so he's kind of safe to go out in public as far as safe as he can be. And so we were invited to my my step niece's wedding, and it was a beautiful wedding, but unfortunately it was just a kind of a drive. It was in New Smyrna, which is about an hour from where we are. And so, which wouldn't be a problem normally, but with our first trip out with a baby, it was a little intimidating. Driving an hour, we didn't know how he was going to react in a car for an hour. He slept the entire way, of course.
Dude, babies love moving cars.
Oh, yeah. And so you get the stoplight, they get pissed.
Uh-huh.
But it was unusual being at a wedding where I'm not going to drink. And we had to stop at one point to go feed the baby and find somewhere to breastfeed. But there was no actual bathroom, just kind of like fancy outhouses. So that really wasn't conducive. And there was only 2 of them, so there was like 100 people at the wedding, so we weren't going to take up one of those bathrooms.
What a classy sounding wedding you went to.
No, it was like a very done up fancy barn style type of wedding, but like that what do they call it, like shabby chic kind of deal,
2 outhouses.
Yeah, but with like fancy devices inside. Like there's like really brand new sparkling sink and like electric soap dispensers and like all these fancy things and pretty flowers. But it's still
still too small.
Yeah. And so we like had to go back to the car to like feed him for like 20 minutes, and they're looking for me to take a photo. And I was like, I had to find my mom and go take a photo with the bride. But yeah, that was everyone was holding the baby. My sister was there; she got to hold the baby for the first time, and that was cute.
Everyone wants to hold a baby.
Oh yeah, and he's adorable. I mean, I know I'm biased, but he's like a little Gerber baby. He's adorable. So that way, he didn't shit his pants. He didn't piss out of his side of his leg. So everything went pretty well.
Hey. That's all you can hope for anybody at a wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really just
that probably happened more to people in my 20s at weddings. Yeah. But yeah, he also started daycare this week, which is kind of a game changer. Him being gone for like 8 hours of the day. We had my mother-in-law staying with us, which is wonderful, taking care of him during the day until he was ready for daycare. But even then, like I still wanted to check on him, and I had to help things downstairs. And now it's just like I get to work 8 hours straight, and boy, do I need it because I'm catching up on all these books I'm behind on. So yeah. Did you guys didn't have to do daycare because Anna was able to stay home with the kids. So that must have been nice.
Yeah. We've been very fortunate for both children.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Then, Dilly did do like a day, like they both did pre-K kind of stuff as early as we could get them, but we never, luckily we're in a position we didn't have to pay for preschool.
Oh, that's great.
We got very lucky.
That's really great. We found a good deal. And also my wife working for a hospital that's a big corporation, we got a discount at a nearby daycare center. So it's, feasible to pay for it without being like, oh, this just negates me working, that kind of situation people are in right now. So yeah.
Got it. Someone gets a kickback. Got it.
Exactly. She's a little
hospital
kickback.
throws a little kid business their way.
It helps that she works at a children's hospital, so they give discounts for that. So it's pretty nice.
Oh, the perfect cover.
Exactly.
Well, over here, it's just been, we're finally getting into rainy season here. So we've had a bunch of days where it's just been rainy, so rainy you can't go outside for most of the day.
But not snow anymore.
So just sort of getting used to indoor, better than snow, but just getting used to like more indoor activities. We have had a couple beautiful days, and we've gotten to go out and do some adventures down in the Strip District and then down to the park and get the kids out. But between that is just nothing but rain.
Steve, you should be taking your kids to the strip club. What are you doing?
That's right. No, to the Strip District in Pittsburgh.
What is that?
Down to the Strip. Well, it's sort of a historical area. It's where all of the produce and stuff used to come into the city.
Mm.
And so lots of trucks, lots of warehouses and stuff. And it's since sort of taken on this historical air where there's a lot of shops now, but there's like a rare meats butcher shop. Ooh. And like big giant Italian grocer, big giant Middle Eastern grocer,
nice,
big giant Greek grocer where you can go get a lot of specialty things you're not going to find a lot of other places. A few Asian markets. So it's sort of kept on this tradition, even though most of the stuff doesn't go in and out of that area anymore.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Strip is definitely worth it when you come to Pittsburgh. But yeah, and then I started a higher dose of my medicine. That I'm doing for my weight loss thing, and it destroyed me today. Yesterday, I took the first dose, and last night overnight, I had tummy issues and thought it was done, and then got up, got dressed, went to work, sat for about 15 minutes, and then just started hurting and spent about a half hour in the bathroom at work. Just in different areas of awful. And finally went to my boss. I'm like, I gotta go. And so I drove home, which in retrospect might have been a mistake because I was major discomfort to the point of distraction. And then our road is being done. So I couldn't park in front of our place. So I had to park at the top of the hill.
Oh, no.
And so I texted Anna, can you please come pick me up? I don't know. So Anna had to come up and pick me up. And then I went and laid down and slept for 3.5 hours.
So you needed it. You need to be home in bed.
Yeah. When I woke up, I felt considerably better.
Do you
still
think it's
not great. I'm still really dehydrated, and I'm really being careful about what I eat until I know if it's like a virus or not.
Yeah, or if it's going to keep being like that, or if it'll ease off a bit after a while.
Yeah. Well, this is the first real side effects I've had with this stuff, like at all. Really. A little bit here and there, but very, very minor. Never to this level of inconvenience. And this one, I don't know. Woo.
That's one way to make someone lose weight is just shit it all out.
That's true. That's what they don't tell you.
Hot damn.
So that was most of my day today. So I just got some food in me a little bit ago. Nothing's come up. So it's been a better afternoon.
Oh, that was today. Okay. I thought you were saying it was yesterday.
Yeah, that was today.
Damn.
I had an adventure today.
I'm glad you made it to the episode.
Yeah, man. Well, I think that takes us on to some nerdy news.
Wait, I see something else in your notes.
Oh, yeah, I got new shorts at Costco because I've lost enough weight that I can buy clothes at Costco now.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
That's really the marker, is being able to buy clothes in regular places.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember when I got sized out of just H&M. I was like, because I just was too big for H&M. I was like, I knew I was overweight because I was, but I was just like, come on, man. Like, it's just a regular sized person's pants. Like, doesn't sell them here. So that was great. Yeah, no, not fun. And I think it's a big dad thing because today I just bought pants at Costco as well. Today.
That's right.
Dads buy clothes at Costco.
Hey, one of them was $12.99. How can I say no to that?
Yeah. And they have name brands there now for $12.99.
Yeah. They have these really great adventure shorts that are going to be perfect for camp. I'm very excited.
Nice. Very nice. You like your pockets in your shorts. I remember that.
I do. I mean, having those pockets up front, hey, you're a dad now. You're going to see. There's going to come a point where you want so many pockets you don't have.
All the cargo shorts possible.
I'm just telling you, that's what cargo shorts are for sad fathers. That's,
Sad, tired, stressed out fathers.
that is who they're designed for. And I will stand by that.
I appreciate that.
But
now that brings
on to
us
some
nerdy news.
It's time for Nerdy News.
All right. This week, the cheeky name for my cheeky story is Damn Mosquitos, and then slap. Wasn't sure if you'd be able to hear it on the microphone or not. Well, genetic researchers, mostly from the UK, have started looking at when mosquitoes started biting humans. And so what they did is they took 10 different species that were like the closest they think to the originals and then measured genetic drift to figure off when they broke off and basically identified the time frame between ones that didn't really eat humans and the ones that ate humans a ton. And they found out they've been biting humans between 1.6 and 2.9 million years ago. Oof. Mosquitoes figured it out. Before that, they were mostly high up in the trees, and they went after haired primates. So the mosquitoes likely shifted off feeding off of non-human primates as primates moved in to all these areas as our ancestors spread out of Africa. And this is further encouraged by the transition around, it's called Sundaland. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's a now mostly sunken prehistoric Southeast Asian landmass.
Wow.
And so they believe that the mosquitoes that first learned to eat humans were there. And so therefore, they know that it's when Homo erectus came from Africa over into East Asia.
Ah.
So because of when mosquitoes started eating humans, they now have a better idea of when they were there. So many other mosquitoes have developed a preference for humans much more recently.
Lovely.
But it's just this one ancient strand that's been doing it for, up to 2.9 million years. Most other species that now eat humans only figured it out in the last 10,000 years.
A lot more.
So in the grand scale of things, like a drop in the bucket.
So they basically came from Atlantis and then migrated outward.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. From Atlantis. That's Sundaland. Yep, we said Atlantis.
It's sunken place, man. I'm saying.
But yeah, and so they also think that's like where they can study the spread of mosquito-borne diseases like malaria, like how far does that go back? And it all traces back to when did mosquitoes start eating us?
Makes sense. And gross. I hate them.
So that's damn mosquitoes.
I tried to clap, but hit myself.
There we go. Well, I think that brings us to our main segment where we're going to talk about a genuinely good movie for once.
Yes.
But Jarman, before we do, we have to warn our audience. We are going to be talking about the movie pretty ad nauseum. We're going to be giving away every major plot point. So I'm going to say spoilers.
Oh, it feels so good.
Never sounded so sweet. All right. Well, Moon, in a future Earth where energy is scarce, helium-3 from the moon is the savior we all need, being sent back to humanity. Sam is an engineer who lives on the moon and oversees one of these operations. His only company being a friendly computer companion named Gertie. Sam's 3-year contract is coming to a close, and not soon enough because comms have been down. And all he can see are recorded video messages from his estranged wife and child back on Earth. Well, when one of the harvests breaks, Sam hops in a rover, heads out to repair it, but crashes when he thinks he sees someone outside. He is able to get his helmet on just in time, but passes out. Sam wakes up back in the base. Gertie explains that there's been an accident, and HQ is dispatching a team to retrieve the rover. He thinks it's ridiculous that they're sending a team, and he causes a fake emergency to get outside so Gertie will let him out. He goes to retrieve the rover, but that's when he finds himself.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sam 2 drags Sam 1 back to the base, where they both have to come to terms with the fact that they are probably clones, though Sam 1 is desperately in denial. Sam 2, admittedly, is a bit of a jerk. He is still the Sam from 3 years ago, the Sam that hasn't spent 3 years in solitude and reflection. They play ping pong, and Sam 1 tells Sam 2 about their daughter. They have a daughter. Sam 1 continues to be in denial, but as the details unfold, they realize that they are he's not just clones, they're two of what could be many clones. And they think that the clones must be made at the base because it would take them too long to get them out from Earth. The two end up in a fight over sort of territory as Sam 2 is looking for the hidden lab where these clones might come from. He flips a town model that Sam 1 has been obsessing over. And a knife is involved. This is where it becomes apparent that Sam 1 is falling apart and is physically weak. He injures easily. He's bleeding heavily from minor scrap. Gertie then accidentally tips his hand, revealing that he knows information about Sam that the current Sam didn't tell him. And that he's then unable to confirm to Sam that the video messages he's been sending his wife ever actually left the base. Gertie finally spills the beans. There was no crash. Every Sam gets brought up the same way. It's a clone with memory implants and then imperfections in the DNA that cause it to break down over time, which is what Sam 1 is experiencing right now. The two Sams attempt to get along and decide to work together. This is where we get one of my favorite scenes in the whole thing, which is Sam Rockwell beat up real bad, and he's playing Walking on Sunshine and dancing like a goof, trying to get Sam 2 to like interact with him. Sam 2 keeps turning off the music and Sam 1 keeps turning it back on and dancing. It is one of the best moments of this entire film. It is the silliest thing. They both get into different rovers and they go out searching. They each find towers that Sam 2 surmises are jamming towers that have been jamming their signal. But Sam 1 gets ill and struggles his way back to base. He vomits violently and realizes that he's got teeth coming out. Sam 1 goes and desperately tries to log into the computer system, only to find that his access has been blocked. But Gertie comes in clutch and logs in for him. He reviews video from previous Sams, and right at the end of their contracts, he watches through video screens as they are getting excited to see their kids and then climbing into an escape pod and then being immediately incinerated. Sam 1 goes to inspect the pod room, and that is where he finds the hidden hatch. Him and Sam 2 descend to find rows and rows of readied clones. They are actually Sam 5 and Sam 6. Sam 5 hops a rover and drives out past the reach of the jammers, taking a video phone with him, and he calls his home. A young lady answers, and when he asks to speak with his wife, he's informed that she died years ago. He starts to ask questions, but the original Sam, Sam 1, is in the house. Sam 5 has a breakdown. He cries and says he just wants to go home. It's now 7 hours until the rescue crew arrives and likely murders both of them. Sam 6 convinces Gertie to warm up a fresh Sam 7, and allow one of them to escape. Sam 6 plans to take the not yet conscious Sam 7 to the crash and dump the body, and load Sam 5 into one of the helium-3 rockets to take the 3-day trip back to Earth. But Sam 5 deep down knows that he's not going to make the trip. He is bleeding and falling apart. He's coughing uncontrollably, and he doesn't think that another Sam deserves that. So he takes his original place back in the crash rover. Sam 6 says goodbye, heads back to the base, and starts to load into the helium pod thing. Sam 6, crap. There's so many Sams in this description. Okay. But he has one last thing to do. He hops out of the pod just as the murder team is arriving and puts in new coordinates, directing the massive harvester to go crash into one of the jamming towers. This causes communications to open back up. Sam 6 rides the rocket home and presumably lives to see another day. And there actually is an answer to that.
Well, also in the credits, they have you audio where they're kind of hear like news reports saying that Sam is like talking to the news and like trying to get the word out that this is inhumane.
Yeah. Well, there's more. I'm excited.
Yeah. I have some trivia on that too.
So let's talk about things we liked about this movie. I figured this will be the larger section.
Yeah. I mean,
from
Sam Rockwell.
I'll start by saying great technical.
Oh,
great
yes.
technical. They didn't have a giant budget, which was fair. So they kept the visuals simple, square edges at a distance. So whenever he was outside, it wasn't close-ups of this rover. Everything was painted sort of in a tone. So it was very achievable. And because of that, it was very successful with a minimal budget for visual effects.
Yeah. It's like original Star Wars. They kind of, keep things simple and practical, and that way it looks real because it kind of is real, basically.
Yeah, everything's just gray and black and white squares.
Yeah, basically.
So yeah, great visual technicals, and then all the split screen stuff. I forgot how good it all was.
Yeah, there was only one scene where he's kind of putting a hat on him and stuff, and they're standing right next to each other. And the arm looked really weird that was putting the hat on him and stuff. I'm like, that's at a strange angle.
Yeah, where his body was the block for it, and then the arm was like back here, but it was operating from one point.
Yeah, it looked kind of odd. But that was the only time I was taken out of the immersion was that one scene. So overall, I said that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. I mean, when they were playing ping pong together and like, that was Duncan Jones just showing off.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Because he broke every rule of the split screen effect back to back on both sides and threw items across, and then had one Sam cross over the midline, the other Sam cross over the midline. I was like, you bastard.
Just on purpose. Yeah.
You're
He was
just
definitely
rubbing
showing
it in. So in that regard, I think some of the most successful use of double work I've ever seen in any movie.
Yeah, I think it was a big deal at the time too. That was one of the big talking points about this movie when it came out, because it didn't get a lot of attention, but what it did, it was like, this is like they've broken the mold on the doubles and doing the same actor playing two parts. And it did help that apparently one of the VFX artists, I think it was like a perfect size and hair double for Sam Rockwell, and so they used him because they didn't have a lot of money, so they weren't going to find somebody else. But like, you look just like him, and you're the same height. Get in there. And so he was like the body double that held place for him and stuff.
Nice.
But
I hope they paid him well.
Yeah, hopefully.
And then great acting, like Sam Rockwell with Sam Rockwell. The exploration of like two different men, or one man in two different parts of his life.
Yeah.
Coming into conflict was just beautifully done. And the scenes were compelling, even though you knew that it was Sam Rockwell doing a scene with himself.
And they could have been
that
wearing...
speaks to the technical that backed that up.
Yeah,
like,
they could have been wearing the exact same outfit, and you'd still know exactly which guy was which, just because he held his body completely differently every scene. Like, and he moved different, he talked different, but yet it's the same person, but he's like a totally different character in just the slight movements. It was amazing. So yeah, he should have gotten an Oscar for it. That's what I say.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I agree. This is one of the in my opinion, one of the worst Oscar snubs in recent history.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, sci-fi and fantasy have much more found its place since this movie came out. Just in the last 10 years, sci-fi and fantasy has started creeping into the Oscars and into the primetime space. So maybe now he would have.
Possibly.
But at the time, like sci-fi fantasy were they just didn't let him in. They were not welcome at the Oscars.
You had to be a movie about the
Unless
Holocaust or
Peter
cancer.
Jackson, you were not allowed in.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I love that they used these miniatures for sets and they looked fantastic.
Yeah.
If unfortunately Gertie the robot being played by a, sex offender now, basically. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
Kevin Spacey. That is the one smudge on this, because Gertie as a character, I loved.
Yeah. It's like they took the thing from 2001: A Space Odyssey, where you assume that the robot was going to be against him, but turned out to be his friend. And that just like turned it all on its head. And like, I don't think the audience would be expecting that going in. Like he's going to, obviously the robot's going to become evil. And like, no, he really cared about the well-being of the Sams.
Yeah. I like the aspect of, its programming, it was to help Sam. And somehow that became so extreme that it was able to override other programming, which shows almost like a willfulness in it, which is another big
a personality.
There was a moment right towards the end where he's sort of saying, Gertie's explaining to maybe Sam 6 about how new Sams are brought up. And he's like, it's the same programming we run every time. And Sam says, Gertie, we're not programmed. We're live. And the fact that he said I read that moment so differently, where it was like, oh, Gertie's contemplating this.
Yeah, like, am I alive
Gertie's
too?
contemplating if Gertie is alive.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I loved that for once in a world of sci-fi movies where the computer or the robot ends up being the villain.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I was saying how it's like he flipped that totally on its head. It's just big.
Subverted the hell out of it in the best way. And that's, once again, that's what makes this worse. If Kevin Spacey Gertie ended up being the villain, I think I'd be like, yeah. But Gertie was a good guy, and that makes me mad at Kevin Spacey.
I know.
You know what they should do? They should get a beloved actor to just dub this over.
Brendan Fraser or Keanu Reeves.
Get Brendan Fraser or Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah, Tom Hanks. There you go.
That's what they should do. The Spacey Moon, less Spacey. That's just the
less Spacey. Has a double entendre there. Just let Gertie be Miss Rachel. There you go.
That's right. All right. So some things. Anything that you struggled with in this?
There were a few scenes that I feel did drag a bit, and they're just small scenes that I felt could have just been tight.
Yeah.
It's like the only little nitpick I can give. Like there's one point where he suddenly decides to open up Sam 1's bag. Sam 2 is like, he's like, oh, let me open this up, because he put him to sleep because he was really sick. And he opens his bag for no reason, really, and finds the communication device. And then that's when he sees the message to the daughter. But they take this time of him finding the bag, opening it, taking it out, looking at it for a second, then opening it. And it's like, it wasn't really building tension. It was just kind of like, we're just waiting for him to open this. And so it could have been just cut. And there's a couple scenes like that where it's just like, this is already hard to keep this movie pace up because you have one actor, but so you need maybe cut a few of those but it was very few. There's like 2 or 3 of those scenes. Otherwise the pace was totally fine for me. Like there's just a couple of them.
Yeah, I agree. The moment I'm thinking of, once again, pacing based issue, is when they both got in rovers and went out to do the same thing in 2 different locations. And they both found the tower, and then the one got sick. Sam 5 got sick and went back. And I was like, why did they both need to go for that storytelling to happen?
Right. Or be in the same vehicle, maybe.
Yeah, well, exactly. And have a reason to come back together. But it just felt like, why are we having 2 characters that are literally identical going to do the same thing in 2 different locations?
Yeah, that's true. Just little tiny things like that. Yeah.
But yeah, so little pacing-ish things, but overall really, really good. It wrenches the heart. That call with his daughter, and then the right after, where he's like crying and saying he wants to go home and hitting things. Like, how did he not get a nom?
I know.
I don't understand.
And I think something Sam Rockwell is so good at is that he can play a cool guy if he wants to, but most of his roles, he's never trying to be cool or the leading man type. He's trying to just be a real person with real emotions.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind looking silly or vulnerable. And that moment after the phone call where he just goes, I just want to go home. He sounded like a little boy. It's like it wrenched my soul a little bit. It's just like he let that happen. It's great.
Well, even before that, when he finds out that his wife is dead, and he kind of like breaks the thing, he's like, "Oh, sweetheart, how did mommy die?"
Yeah, he says, "Mommy."
Like the familiarity he broke through was just kind of nuts.
It hurts.
Yeah, but this is one of the few times where I can genuinely recommend to our audience to go and watch Moon. It is totally worth your time. Highly recommend.
And we were supposed to have a recording from Mr. Sean Vanderloo, but I didn't receive it. So, Sean, if you did send it, maybe it went to a wrong email, but so send it again. We'll play it next episode. If you have one, we'll talk about it. But some trivia for this movie. Director Duncan Jones, who also is the son of David Bowie, and people often say like, "Oh, he changed his name so he could make it on his own," but like, no, that's just his real last name, because that's actually David Bowie's real last name is Jones, so he just took his father's real last name. Duncan Jones wrote this movie for Sam Rockwell because they were going to work on a previous project that never really panned out. They couldn't really find a role for him in this other project he did, so they ended up just writing a whole movie for Sam Rockwell because they're buddies, and I think that was perfect instance of that working out well. The outdoor moon scenes were shot using practical effects, miniature model photography, polished in post-production with digital techniques where they looked unconvincing. They would gussy up some things. So I think it's the perfect use for CGI is to gussy things up, not from the ground up. As part of the presentation of the movie at NASA, the director was asked about the sturdy bunker-like designs for the base, and the director, Duncan Jones, explains that he thought that the astronauts would build the base using material dug out of the moon itself instead of bringing a habitat with them and placing it on the surface. And as it happened, one of the other audience members at NASA was working on Mooncrete, as they called it, which she explained to the director is like a concrete material that we made out of the rocky regolith that's on the lunar surface. So she was like, "Oh, we're actually working on that." So it was kind of cool that he just kind of thought of it. Shot during a writer's strike, which had caused most other productions at Shepperton Studios to shut down where they've shot this. Director Duncan Jones says he got a number of top-class effects people on the crew who were just desperate for work, so they worked for much cheaper because there was no other projects going on. So that's how we kind of got these really good effects in a very cheap movie, because they were like, we'll take it. We'll work for $500. That's fine. The filmmakers originally intended to create the special effects on a computer with only a few model shots. But after finding out that using only special effects would cost $500,000, they went back to the model makers and asked, "Well, how much would it cost for you guys to do this?" And they were shocked to find out it'd only be $47,000. So like, "Oh, we'll do that," instead of doing this crazy special effects. As Steven said, small budget. It's a $5 million budget for this movie, which is insane. That is such a small budget for such a beautiful movie. The film takes place only 9 years from now in 2035, which is also crazy to think of. To save money and time, on the model effects team dragged some of the surviving lunar landscapes from Space 1999, I think it's a TV show, out of storage from Pinewood Studios in England and had them moved to Shepperton Studios where they were remodeled into this movie. So they even used some old sets to save money. The film opens with the line, "Where are we now?" which appears on the screen as well. But this also happens to be a title of a 2013 song by David Bowie, his father, only a few years later. So strange. The makers campaigned hard for Sam Rockwell to get an Oscar nomination, but it was rumored that he was passed over in favor of Jeremy Renner for The Hurt Locker, which, fine. The 1983 song "Walking on Sunshine," whoa, by Katrina and the Waves plays during the film. As Stephen talked about, their goofy dance scene. Whether intentional or not, the helium-3 being mined is only accessible on the surface of the moon. It is deposited there by the sun's solar winds. Therefore, when walking on the moon, you are literally walking on sunshine. And that's kind of like why that's in there. Just before Sam 2 leaves for Earth, or Sam 6, as we would call him in the end, he is carrying a cylindrical object under his left arm. In the director's commentary, Duncan Jones says that it is actually a storage container containing $15 million worth of helium-3, and that selling it would allow Sam to live well on Earth over his 3-year lifespan that he has left. But this plot point didn't make the final cut, so he was going to have like a nice little vacation life there with that $15 million. According to Duncan Jones, the director, the original Sam allowed the company to have his genetic material taken, certain memories to be downloaded, and all of his transmission with his wife to be used. The company gave him a heap of money, so after his 3 years of actually doing the job on the moon, because he actually was there in person, the original guy, he went back to Earth, and his family was taken care of, and the guys on the moon took care of the job for the rest of time, basically. So yeah, he was there, according to Duncan Jones originally. The symptoms Sam 1 is showing at the time of their onset suggest that he's suffering from an acute radiation poisoning. Starting with headaches, moving on to bleeding, paler skin, dizziness, and fevers. This would imply that exposing the clones to a lethal dose of radiation is how Lunar Industries is making them ill. However, according to writer-director Duncan Jones, the company specifically created the clones with a 3-year lifespan, which they felt was the period where they would perform optimally before losing their motivation on the job. It also ensures that they die in case they refuse to get into the incinerator. Gertie also mentions genetic abnormalities and minor duplication errors in the DNA of clones, which may mean that accumulation of genetic mutations over time is what causes the clone's death after 3 years, but it could be either way. But yeah, I like the idea of this being like Multiplicity, another movie we reviewed on the show, where the more clones you make, the dumber they get. And you can eventually have a clone on the moon who's like, I make moon dust. And last one, the hallucination that Sam experiences in the beginning of the movie, and which caused the harvester accident that kicks off the entire plot, are of his adolescent daughter, Eve, which she's already a teenager. It remains unclear in the movie where these visions come from, given that Sam had never even seen Eve at that age prior to this moment. But so according to the director, Duncan Jones, he meant for this to be a phenomenon called twin telepathy, where identical twins can almost be seen to have a sense or be aware of what happens to each other, even when they are separated and not in contact. The idea is that the identical Sams are similarly connected to twins, and the cloned Sam on the base can sense and feel the daughter of the original Sam back on Earth, as this girl means so much to the original Sam. Jones admitted that in a movie full of hard sci-fi that is grounded in reality, this was a bit of the more fantastical soft sci-fi that he allowed in the story, but he nevertheless maintains that there is a roughly scientific idea behind it. So it's kind of just like a passing mystery. It could be a mystery of clones that we're not aware of that might actually happen with this strange brain connection of quantum entanglement or something. But yeah, it was interesting. So I didn't think about that till afterwards. I'm like, oh yeah, he saw her as a teenager in the visions, and he's never seen her as a teenager before. So sorry, a lot of trivia, but it's a fun movie, so I had to do it.
Well, yeah, and not only that, I just want to point out, let's look at this cast real quick. So, of course, you got Sam Rockwell, Kevin Spacey, but then also you've got Dominique McElligott, who has been a working actor forever, but really only got her. She played the wife, Tess Bell, in all the videos. She's currently in The Boys as Queen Maeve. It's like her big breakthrough. Oh, that's
Queen Maeve? I didn't even recognize her.
Yeah, it's her biggest role to date. So yeah, so her there. Let's see, Kaya Scodelario, who has been a lead in things like Maze Runner and the Pirates of the Caribbean movie in 2017, and has gone on to do huge stuff. And then the two executives on the screen that send Sam to like, good job, Sam, we'll see you soon video. One is Matt Berry.
Yeah.
And the other one is Benedict Wong from Marvel fame. Like, I was like, what the hell? And this is in 2009 when, not that they were all working actors then. Right. They weren't the names they are now. It's crazy they're all in this movie.
I love hearing Matt Berry's voice ever. So it was fantastic seeing him there. I was like, it's Matt Berry. You're on the moon.
And then also Duncan Jones' follow-on film to this was called Mute. It came out, I think, in 2018 on Netflix. And he confirmed that it is in the same universe as Moon. In the background, I think in a bar on a television is Sam Bell in front of a court. So having some sort of court battle with the company.
Mm-hmm.
It is unclear whether it is Sam Bell 1, the original, or if it's the Sam Bell that made it back, though.
We need to build that expanded universe.
Yes. So it exists, and Sam does get his day in court.
Hopefully he
might be over likeness rights if it's Sam 1.
Well, now we have a little game for Steve and I here called 3-Year Tour of Boredom. So basically, Steve, what we're going to do here is it's pretty simple. You're on a space station for the next 3 years, and the mega corporation that sent you there they say for entertainment purposes, we can't go over a certain amount of weight. You're allowed to bring 3 movies, 3 video games, and 3 books. What do you bring for your 3 years that you have to be on this space station?
Okay. Let's start with 3 books. Probably like Ender's Game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something big and dense, like the Silmarillion, something that you could really have to study and work your way through.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't know, probably another big one, like It.
Oh yeah, there you go. I was thinking of Stephen King something. Oh, for my books,
are you doing this too, or am I just
I'll do
spilling all my
books
guts?
as well.
Okay,
I think
good. Yeah,
I was just recently starting the Silmarillion again, but it got cut off because I had a baby. Weird. But yeah, for the same reason, I think I'd want to like have a whiteboard and be like connecting all the people who are related and stuff, and like really just studying it like a textbook. That would take a lot of time out of those 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, and then books I haven't read before, I think would also be fun because I haven't read a lot of books for myself outside of work since I was like in high school or college. So I think I would try to delve into a Stephen King as well because it's something I'd never really broached before, a horror like reading as well. So I'd probably want to do that. And then maybe like not an encyclopedia, but there's like a smaller version of encyclopedia. I forgot what it's called. I'm losing my mind here. I want to be able to something I could study is longer. But anyway, so Stephen King, what should be the Stephen King book I should start off with if I was going to start off with Stephen King?
I don't know. The really good ones are shorter. Like basically, so he did like Carrie and Cujo and Christine and all these shorter books and like in some cases almost novella like kind of things. And gained all this popularity. He was highly marketable. And then you get into this point where he was doing a ton of drugs and he was so big that no editor would tell him no. And that's when you get It and The Stand.
Damn.
These huge, massive books where no editor would tell him what to do because he was such a cash cow that everyone just wanted to keep writing.
Just fueled by cocaine.
So the earlier books, like the really good ones, put him on the map, are also shorter.
Gotcha.
It is very good. It loses its way a few times. The Stand is just okay.
Well, I guess I'd stick with It. And then my other one, I'm going to cheat a little bit, is the complete works of William Shakespeare. I'd be up there just like,
you bitch.
I'd be memorizing some sonnets, memorizing monologues, and just like, delving in and studying. And just really, that's something I'd love to take more time with and just kind of like become an expert like I almost was 10 years ago, but I've forgotten everything I've learned since then. Okay, so video games. What's the 3 video games you bring with you?
Video games, let's assume I don't need to online play for these things to happen.
Right.
In that case, something big and expansive I've come back to over and over again. I don't know. I'd probably pick one of the big ones that, like one of the Witcher games that like you really can play for friggin' forever.
Mm-hmm.
Probably some sort of builder, like maybe Pal World or one of those games where I feel like I was creating something.
Yeah.
Chance to like escape a little bit in that regard. And then probably like I don't know, something fun and retro, like Mario 64 or something.
Good choices. I would go with Streets of Rage 2, of course. I can play it over and over again for some reason. Then I'd have a Baldur's Gate 3 because I've always wanted to play more of it. I played it a little bit, but it would take forever to play. And then, like you said, something like a world building kind of thing, that would be a huge campaign. The most recent Civilization game, because I like those games, but I never have enough time to play them or delve into them. So, yeah, that would be a total time suck. It'd be great. All right, so I got 3 movies.
And 3 movies. Probably like the Muppet movie. I just got to have one in there. Django Unchained. That's one of those movies I can watch over and over and over again.
I would have expected that.
Legitimately. And probably like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers.
All right. I would do the Indiana Jones Last Crusade, my favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Okay.
Airplane. Can watch that a million times. And then for just to have something different, I would do Return of the King. Extended edition, of course.
Well, yeah, you want that extra hour if you're going to be up there for 3 years.
Exactly. So we'd be set. We have our 3 years of entertainment right there. Read 3 books over and over again. Those video games going to have a lot of playtime. We'll be set. I'm surprised I didn't pick Skyrim.
I think the video games are really where you would get your time out of, because you once again, The Witcher, the most recent one, is nuts. I had to walk away from it because of how crazy expansive it was. It was going to kill me.
I did finally buy it on Steam, but I haven't played much of it. I played the first tutorial part, and that was it.
All right. Well, cool. 3 years of boredom. I love it.
All right. That brings us some radical recommends.
Recommend.
If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up.
What do you recommend I do?
I recommend pleasant.
All right. This week, my radical recommend is a kitchen gadget, not even gadget, a kitchen item that I've been hearing a lot about. And it's the sort of thing where I would I don't spend that kind of money on kitchen stuff. But I finally broke down and got one, and it's been totally worth it. I finally went and bought a nice chinois, which is a very fine mesh strainer that, unlike the one you do pasta in, it's in a cone. So it comes down to a point. And it's double mesh. So there's a double layer of mesh. So it's extra fine. Mm-hmm. But really what it is, it's for making soups and sauces. Like broths and sauces for the most part. And since I've been making my own turkey broth, my own chicken broth at home, you make it and then there's all this little stuff in it. And I was like, God, I just hate all that little stuff. I know it's not going to kill me, but it doesn't look nice. So I finally broke down, bought a chinois, and we made some broth that night or the day after. And I've got the most beautiful clear broth. It's just beautiful, golden, clear, delicious broth now. And totally worth the investment, especially now that we are doing it consistently.
Is it just a special kind of fabric, or what is it?
No, it's metal. It's mesh, but it's not. It's very fine, and it's interwoven in a way that really makes it catch stuff. And then additionally, with this chinois, it's double layer. So that times 2.
That's a pricey
item.
And
really just catches. For a good one, yeah. It was a sort of thing where I was like, I don't want to buy a cheap piece of junk I'm going to replace. If I can buy one and have it for 20 years, I'll do that. So I paid, $60 for it, which, as I said, for me, for a kitchen item is right.
And for what it is, I get it. But since you do use it a lot,
for a fancy strainer, now that I'm genuinely making, broth and stock and saving money on it, I can feel at least a little okay.
And you can just throw it in the dishwasher.
For the most part.
Nice.
You want to get most of the large particulate out, but then you, of course, want to steam it, sanitize it.
Right. Well, nice. If I ever make broth, I'll check it out.
The best part, though, we walked down at the Strip. It was the day we went to the Strip with the children. It's a kitchen store down there, and we walked in, and this very nice lady. It's a very touristy kind of area, so because of that, you got to figure most people that walk in are just there to peruse and look at nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I walk in, she's like, "Hi, welcome. Are you guys looking for anything special today?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm here to buy a chinois." And she went and just stared in blank horror because A, she didn't know what I was asking for, and B, she is clearly not used to people saying, "Yes, I'm looking for blank."
It never happens.
Right. So I just caught her like a deer in headlights. And luckily, some sort of manager stepped in. It was like, "Yes, we have them over here. Thank you." But that first lady was great.
I would like a chinois, please.
Please, a chinois.
Oh, sorry. We don't serve French here. Get out.
All right. Well, does that take us to some trailer reviews?
Yes, it does. All right, so this time we're talking about The Mandalorian and Grogu. And I think this newest trailer came out 2 weeks ago, perhaps, it looked like. They had a first trailer that had more like a teaser, didn't have any dialogue in it, really. This one is more like a proper trailer. We can't really tell what's happening, except they're going on some kind of adventure together and fighting some stormtroopers. And Lots of shenanigans ensue. Sigourney Weaver seems to be.
He's offering to take out bad guys.
Yeah.
And Sigourney Weaver's there.
She's saying stuff. Before I get into my opinion, Steve, what do you think of this trailer?
I'm with you. Like, who's the villain? Who's the villain of this film?
Mm.
What kind of stakes are they up against? I don't want to know everything, but we need some detail to know how much to care about this film.
Yeah.
Especially since they are transitioning away from television to film. They really need to bring audiences. I think that they are over relying on the popularity of these characters, and they don't think they've got to show a whole lot. And I'm not sure that's the case.
And Pedro Pascal as well, just showing his face more in the trailer. But also, like, my biggest gripe with this is I saw a video on this and I can't not see it anymore when they talk about Netflix lighting. And I know this was on Disney Plus, not Netflix originally, but they did, as an example, they showed the shots from the first season of The Mandalorian, and it was shot so well. It was like it felt like an original Star Wars movie. It felt like a Western.
Yeah.
The color grading, everything was just like more, rough around the edges and kind of gritty. And now everything is just flat lit, like it's on a cheap set. It looks like a TV show. Everything's perfectly clear and digital looking. There's nothing interesting about pretty much very few shots looked interesting. Just looked like it was just flat lighting the whole time. And I can't unsee it now. Every TV show that comes on, they showed like Stranger Things, the most recent season. They said like almost every show uses a bunch of this like orange and blue color palettes. And like every show has it now. I'm like, what the hell? And apparently it's just like the quickest way to light everything is just light everything and don't have any interesting shots that are all different, or artistic. If you just light the whole set, then you can just film around it and the lights never change. Then you're done. Like the shot's over. And you can tell the special effects in this are like that too. Like you can tell it's like TV special effects, like even the freaking chicken walker falling off at the end. Or maybe that wasn't chicken walker. That's the 4-legged one, the ATSD or whatever. It looked like it was from a PS1 video game. Like it was just like you could see like the digital edges of the thing falling off the. Like, did they just rush this thing out? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm just kind of disappointed, frankly. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've got enough zeal to go see this in theaters.
Yeah.
Like, I think my answer is I'll wait till it's on Disney Plus, where it was the first time.
Yeah, exactly. I still haven't seen the last Pedro Pascal movie that's now on Disney Plus, which is Fantastic Four. I still haven't seen that. And that's the first Marvel movie I didn't see in theaters was Fantastic Four.
Yeah. No, once you got kids, you got to pick and choose real heavy.
Yeah, exactly. Better trailer than the first one, but just not much going on here.
That's right. We got to rate it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give this 1 Gary Busey putting on Mandalorian armor and then realizing it's too tight because he accidentally grabbed Grogu's armor.
Just fits over his head. I'm going to have
something's off.
Get it off. I'm going to have this one Raul Julia walking into the living room and seeing Gary standing there, but there's all these lights all over the place from IKEA, and he looks over and he sees this man standing in the middle of the room, and he's like, "Who is this person?" He looks just like this regular guy just standing by, and it's Gary Busey, but there's just so many lights he put in there that his face is all smoothed over, and you can't see any of his wrinkles anymore, and he looks like a regular guy. Takes all the
They're all tinted
out.
Blue and orange.
Exactly. So that's my rating for this movie. Damn it.
Fair. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 242 of A Play on Nerds. Join us next time when we bow to our AI overlords and let them dictate the show in Nerd Roll of Fortune. We're going to roll dice and it will pick the show. Not even we know what it's going to be.
That's right.
Very exciting.
Could be anything.
All that and more next time. You guys come on back and be our nerdy audience. We will keep on coming back to be your nerdy co-hosts. Thanks again, Internet.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
Thanks for listening to A Play on Nerds. Feel free to email feedback at applayonnerds.com with all your questions or comments.
Shoot us a message on Facebook or Twitter and earn yourself a sweet shout out on the show.
Review us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts so even more nerds can find us. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, we aren't picky.
Check out our entire back catalog and other offerings at applayonnerds.com.
And how?